Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And I was told I have to speak louder during the presentation. I think it's because everyone must be sleepy after lunch. So I'll try my best to raise my volume. I'm Arthur, COO of the iTutorGroup. iTutorGroup is the world's largest online education service provider and the platform. The platform provides a live teacher-based services, teaching English and other subjects on a 24/7 on-demand basis. Our service model is unique. I think it's quite different from those other companies who enter this market as the form of a content provider, the software vendor, or the once popular MOOC type of services. Because we believe the best way to learn everything is still learn from the teacher, especially for the skill or language learning. It's hard to imagine that you learn this kind of a communication skill through a piece of software or through AI code or even through robots. So the challenge is how to provide a live person teacher in a very large scale while still maintain the service quality. How do you provide a personalized way to learn with the live teachers, but your whole operation will run in a very, very large scale way, like we usually seen in the internet business? The key is internet technology. You may ask why we start this company. Well, 12 years ago, our founder, Ming, and Dr. Yang Eric tried to build this company to make the people's learning behavior change. Why? Because we think internet is not fair to education. If you think about the past 20 years of the internet's evolution, there's so many kind of human behavior has been dramatically changed and the paradigm shifted. Internet changed the people search, changed the people purchase, and changed the people making friends. But how about education? Did we see any innovation? Did we see any disruptive innovation on education? Did education benefit from internet? We don't think so. That's why I think we have to do this. So when we build this company, our mission is set to change the learning behavior of the whole human beings. And we promise to our customer that we guarantee them have the access to all the learning resources, no matter it's a static thing like articles, recorded videos, learning lesson plans, and even difficult one is the live teachers on a 24/7 on-demand basis. Whenever you want to learn anything, anytime, on any devices, we grant them the access right. So you can see the iTutorGroup's services now are running not only on the PC or mobile devices, but even on smart TV, even on wearable devices. And we are engaging into the virtual reality to provide the best quality of service and the user experience to all the users. OK, how do we start it? We started by building a sharing economy type of ecosystem. If you think about the whole thing, the ecosystem combines of 4 major stakeholders. One is the consultants. We use this term instead of teachers because I will explain later. This business is not only focused on teaching and learning. It has been expanded to professional services like wealth management, like health care, investment, financial, advising, advertise or something. So we want to use the term consultant. The other, of course, is the client. It means the learner or the customer who received the professional services through this ecosystem. And the other is the shareable learning material or the articles. And the most important of them are the live support. Because all the services are running on the internet, we know internet is not that stable as we imagine. And that from time to time, there will be some communication or connection problems. But we cannot wait the service to be repaired after 24 hours. We need to be repaired immediately because even a minute or two of interruption will ruin the whole user experience. So live support becomes so important when you deliver the bidirectional communication type of service on the internet. So when we build a whole ecosystem with all those 4 stakeholders, you let them share the resources among each of them. For example, if some writer writes a piece of article and submit it into the content database, all the teachers, all the experts on this system can make good use of the material to add on his own opinions, his own expertise to make these articles and all the knowledge content is shareable with all the audience here. And we also build this into a very scalable way. It means that, for example, how do you build 1,000 or tens of thousands of articles in one day? The only answer is crowdsourcing. So when we build up this, when we collect all the resources generated by those stakeholders, we don't do it in-house. Our in-house employees only responsible for auditing or editing the material and do some necessary value-added operation, which I will explain later. So think about the sharing economy type of ecosystem. Isn't it similar to everyone know about Uber? Actually, we are implementing this kind of a sharing economy ecosystem 10 years ago. And especially, the resources we share on this ecosystem are not those tangible things. So it becomes even large scalable and suitable for running on the internet. Okay, so why do we say we are largest? Our reach, all the things you see on the map is captured from our 24 hours live supporting center. Each blue line there represents a running live session. It combines one teacher and 3 or 4 students. And the blue line means everything is working fine. Of course, I will take only the blue lines here to show to you guys. And all the white dots on that is the location where we have our teachers, our consultants. So you can see it's totally a global kind of operation. And we currently deliver more than tens of millions of live sessions per year. And even at this given moment, we have thousands of live sessions running. And all these are delivered by our more than 5,000 live teachers in 80 countries around the world. And we are still scale up this. I think we will double the size by the end of this year because we getting bigger and bigger, and we find a good source to supply much more good quality teachers into the whole system. Okay, so you might ask me one question. So what's the magic behind the scene? Because for any business, you want to convert it from the offline into the online. You have to make good use of the underlying technology, especially if you want to provide both the quality of services and still maintain the fast-growing scalability. The only solution not to compromise these two is to leverage modern technology. I think internet or cloud computing provide a very good foundation for this. And we implement this algorithm called the DCGS you see on the screen. It's called a dynamic course generation system. Why do we do this? Okay, let's look into any successful learning activity. It's actually combined from 3 major elements: a good teacher, a good combination of classmates, and the most appropriate learning material. But when we deliver this kind of services, we are not doing the traditional thing that have a one-star teacher teaching hundreds or thousands of students at a time, or like that things around on the MOOC. We signed a contract with the Harvard professor and recorded a video, and the millions of users watch the same video and cannot ask a question, cannot interact with the teacher. We believe the small classes type of things will guarantee the best quality of services and the learning result. So the whole challenge falls into the equivalent one, just how to define the algorithm that when you have thousands or tens of thousands of users at a time, how do you group them into several thousands small classes? Each classes you have the teacher, the students, and you selected the best fit teaching material from your big repository. That's our dynamic course generation system does. So when the algorithms are computing, we will not only consider the hard attribute. What is a hard attribute? For each learner or each student, he has his preference. For example, the topics he is interested in. Is it finance, or a business, or a science, technology, or even just a daily life or travel? And what occupation, what vocation, what position he is now, and of course, his level. But beside these hard attributes, the more precise way to determine which is the best fit teacher and the content for him is to analyze the big data collected from his learning history. For example, if the student has attended 20 sessions, you can decide his 21st session by analyzing the feedback along the 20 sessions he have attended, because he will give feedback to the teacher, and the teacher will also give feedback to him. So the system can analyze those big data. Actually, in my company, we call it the deep data, because every user have a series, have a bunch of data generated from a single user in this system. So we are not only evaluate the data from millions of users. For each single user, we have his long history for us to very precisely calculate and figure out what is learning pattern and what is preference. So this will be very helpful for us to arrange each single session for him. Okay, I think you know that any good question relied on a good data structure. For our case, the best data structure to store all the learning material or the content is something we call it a long-tail database. Because if you think about the user's need, you cannot use the universal teaching material or textbook to meet all users' needs. We think there is no such thing called the normal distribution for education, because education is something like healthcare. You cannot just discard or ignore those ones who are sit at the corner, the two sides of the normal distribution. You have to treat everyone equally. You have to grant everyone the equal right to receive the best learning result. The only way is to make a long-tail database that covers anything that user might be interested, might be in need. So how do we do this? Take our English learning as an example. First of all, we analyze all the possible knowledge units happening in the English learning. There's 1,000 of them. We try to categorize them and transform them into a taggable object. And we write, and of course, through the crowdsourcing model, we collect, and currently we have 20,000 more pieces of articles which covers all the possible knowledge units here. And we use the tagging mechanism to build the relational database that contains all the learning articles. You think about the traditional way, the publisher or the school, how do they organize their courses? They do it in a linear way or do some hierarchical way. So whenever we attended a semester, we read a textbook from lesson 1, 2, 3 until the last. But it is not the right way for people to learn, because everyone is different. Everyone is not identical. So if you want to get the best learning result, you have to think about every individual user in a different way. You have to find out the right pace and the right learning path for them to achieve the best result of services. And with this long-tail database, we can cover all the users' need. And this is organized as the very easy format for the DCGS algorithm to retrieve any necessary material from inside. Okay, so after we have the core algorithm of DCGS, we also have 3 separate systems combined together to form the whole platform. One is the teacher management system. One is the learning management system. You can think about the learning management system, or LMS, as the special design, the CRM system for those learners. It tracks all the learning behavior and the feedback of each user of each session, and they use it as the basis to decide the future lesson plan and the content management system. And each of the systems has the mutual feedback mechanism. So we can collect the feedback from the teachers, also from the students, to make the future learning experience much, much better and improved. Okay, so combine this, we think the platform can not only run on the educational scenario. Actually, if you think about the future of the internet, we believe everything, no matter it's a B2C, C2C, B2B2C, it will eventually become an edge-to-edge service. Edge-to-edge means human to human. If you think about the current way we're using internet, we have social network services. We think we communicate with the people through this SNS every day, but actually, we are not interacting with the people themselves. We interact with the data they generated. So you're interacting with the UGC, not the user themselves, but it's not the most natural way for human to communicate and to form a social relation between each other for the past 1,000 of years. I think internet now have the capability to make this interaction more direct. That means we can interact with the counterpart with voice, conversation, body language, gesture, or even eye contact. And that will be the best way for people to form a new relation on internet. We are going to expand this platform's application. We call it a live edge-to-edge. In addition to our existing brand, VIP ABC, Tutor ABC, they are English brand. Tutor Ming, they are the brand for people to learn Chinese. And we are providing live edge-to-edge to any domain of the expert other than the language or in addition to the educational field. So no matter you're a lawyer, you're a medical doctor, you are an investor consultant, as long as you think your service can be delivered on the internet environment through the voice or the video transmission, you can make good use of this platform to expand your scope of services to the whole world. So it's not just the tangible goods can be sold on internet. The real-time human-to-human interaction type of services can also cross the border, can also break the limitation of location into a global type of business. Okay, so let me make a conclusion. What's the future of the internet? It's our belief it will become a human-to-human one. So this is not only internet of data or internet of things. They will eventually become an internet of people. People-based solution is what we are aiming for, and what's our belief. We think our educational service is a very good starting point to understand the market and to demonstrate to all the users, and both the supply end users and the demand end users, how powerful an internet platform can provide their bunch of functions to facilitate all their services. That's our vision. And I'm here to share with you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.